Hey everyone, super exciting news about the High Limit Racing Series coming to Australia. So I thought we'd make a video on that to talk about everything that's happening. Okay, so where am I right now? I am at Eldora Speedway here in Rossburg, Ohio, where I am in the media center right now. I'm not sure if you can see behind me, that is where the press conference was held. It is 5:30 right now and drivers are walking right now to the driver's briefing. You can see I'm in the media center, and this right in front of me is the front straightaway. You can see that's where the grandstand is, and drivers right now are going to driver's briefing. But I wanted to talk about not the 100K to win race tonight, but the 100K to win race that's going to be in Australia, the High Limit International, on December 28, 29 and 30 at the Perth Motorplex. Okay, so we've got the event name, the dates, the 28th, 29th and 30th. So 3 successive nights of racing. There's going to be 6 high roller drivers that are confirmed so far. There's Brad Sweet, Kyle Larson, James McFadden, obviously an Australian, Corey Eliasson, Rico Abreu, who raced there this past season, and also Parker Price Miller, who's raced there in the past, which we've got an interview with him, and also Brad Sweet later on. Brad also did say when I spoke with him, in the press conference, that probably closer to the event, there may be like 10 to 12 high limit drivers that will be part of that. Kyle Larson will only run these 3 nights, so you will not see Kyle Larson race in Australia. This is what they're saying. They're pretty adamant about it. He will not race in Australia other than these 3 nights at the Perth Motorplex for this upcoming season. Brad probably will do a handful more races. I'm not sure if he'll come over to the East Coast, though. I'd be surprised if he does. That's my opinion. Okay, so let's get into some of the facts. Coverage. It's exclusively live on Flow Racing. Flow is a part owner in the High Limit Series, so that's kind of expected. I made sure to ask during the press conference about the Channel 7 coverage, because that's huge in Australia. So what was happening there, and Brad answered that and said 7 has the right to run a delayed version of the coverage, and I assume that will be on the Night Thunder program, which makes sense. Prize money, I touched on that. It's 100K to win. They even said it in the press conference that it's the richest in Australian history. The biggest payout I know of is probably 50K. Where the dollar's at, I think back in the day, a 50K to win race in Parramatta was probably the biggest. I know we had the 50K to win 50th Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic in Warrnambool a couple of years ago. But this is obviously huge. It is Australian dollars. I made sure to ask about that as well. I asked that in the press conference, and a lot of the people in the room laughed or giggled at it. But I did see some comments on our original post asking about that, so I'm glad I did ask about that. It is 100K Australian to win. Would have been nice if it was 100K American, but as Brad said, it makes sense that we're in Australia, we'll use their currency, and it's easier for them, I guess. Tickets, just quickly, you can get them at perthmotorplex.com.au or highlimitracing.com, and there's a sign-up page. Brad mentioned that. I'm not sure exactly when they'll go on sale, or if they're on sale yet. I should have checked that. But which car rules will we run under? There'll be the Australian spec, but Brad did mention that they may add some, but also want to be careful that they don't add costs to going racing or being a competitor at the event. Length of deal, Brad touched on that later on in our interview that you're going to see at the end of this video or towards the end. Format, they've discussed it, but they don't want to disclose that just yet. So that'll be interesting. I'd say it'll be a typical high limit sort of schedule, but obviously over 3 nights. I could be wrong. They'll probably spread that out where it all comes together in the end for that 100K to win feature race. Which cars will they drive? Because obviously someone like Rico Abreu's got stuff over in Perth right now, sitting there from last season. We know Brad Sweet drives the Landrigan Motorsports team. He drives for them. I think they're looking for a sponsor too. A quick plug, if you guys want to be on Brad Sweet's car, I think they're looking for a major sponsor. Sounds like maybe Napa's not going to be part of that. But overall, it's going to be a mix of cars that they use. I think there's going to be some Australian cars. I spoke to Parker Price Miller. We got an interview with him, as I said earlier, and he tells us which car he'll be driving. and also we'll touch on Kyle Larson. I know someone asked about that later on. He said not sure who he's driving for, but he did say he's never met the car owner, and I can give you a bit of a scoop. I don't know for sure, so I could be wrong, but I'm hearing it could possibly be the Jason Pride 14 car. So I could be wrong about that, but that incredible equipment. Kyle did mention in the press conference that they do have nice equipment from what he's heard, and as far as I know, it is very, very nice equipment. Here's my thoughts. I think it's a terrible idea. I'm just kidding, right? This is fantastic. This is awesome for sprint car racing in Australia. Everyone here that's I've been talking to is kind of been asking me questions saying, is this a big deal? And yeah, it is a big deal. So it was nice to be the only Australian media here. I'm glad we can cover it for Sprint Car Hub. So unfortunately, the people, you guys watching, getting your merchandise, the hats and shirts, drink bottles and everything else we have, you're helping support us to make this content for us to actually do this stuff. It's a lot of work. So I've been saying for a long time that Australia needs a national sprint car series. And although Brad doesn't necessarily see that they are forming a national series or taking over Australian sprint car racing, I think it's there for the taking. He touches on that in the interview that's coming up in a second. Actually, we'll show that right now. Here's what Brad had to say.
Honestly, when the inception of High Limit, like the national series, we instantly started thinking about an international series. Just really thinking about like how to grow the sport, not only in America, but like really thinking outside of America, like thinking bigger. Thinking about growing the sport into a much bigger audience and fan base. And obviously, Australian fans are super passionate. I went to Perth, I saw it firsthand, the track, working with Gavin and his team, and just seeing how well they run a show and how well the track raced. It was kind of a no-brainer for us to kind of gravitate towards doing something big. I think they deserve it. I know Gavin's been working really hard at Perth for 20 years, and they're just in such a isolated part of the country, over there in Perth, that I think they've always struggled to build something major and get the star power that they deserve to kind of showcase what they've built there with their facility. So just kind of a unique opportunity, really, kind of with our aspirations to grow the High Limit brand, and with their aspirations to try to elevate and build events at Perth Motorplex. So between the two of that, and then getting flow aligned with Perth and not messing up kind of what they have going on with 7 Plus, just there was a lot of moving parts, but really gratifying to kind of finally make the announcement and let people start making plans, hopefully to pack the place and make it a great event.
I'm sure it'll be packed. Is this just a 1-year deal?
No, it's multiple years. I don't want to disclose all the details.
Sure.
And we're looking to grow. So this first year we're hyper focused on just the Perth event, and obviously once we get through that, then we'll kind of reevaluate and see if there's anything else that we could add, to the international series, whether that be in a different country or Australia. So we want to make sure that we're adding things to the ecosystem that are positive for the sport and positive for the countries that we're going to go to.
I've been saying for so long that Australia needs a national series. I think that's a no-brainer, but obviously it hasn't worked in the past for some people trying to make it happen. Is that your intentions, or if it is, does that scare you or concern you at all?
No, my intentions are definitely not to take over Australian sprint car racing with like a national series or anything like that. I think there's parts to Australia that are just very unique to Australia. So right now, I think we're just focused on like this international series or international event in Perth, and if the opportunity presents itself to like add another one and it helps, and other promoters want to look at partnering up with us, I think we would certainly look at it if it made sense. For everything, because we're on the West Coast, so obviously an East Coast event would be on our radar.
Sure.
But yeah, we just want to help elevate Australian sprint car racing. They deserve it. The fans are passionate. The racetracks work hard, but we don't want to hurt it. So we know there's a lot of events and things that are already in place there, and we don't want to take away from anything that Australians are working hard at, because we know all the tracks promoters work hard to in a short amount of time to run their events.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy business, so we want to be respectful of that and let Australian fans know that we're there to try to put on some really cool big events where we fit in.
100K to win. Obviously, this was going to be a big event anyway. Was that really important for you guys to make it a high-paying show?
I think so. I mean, I think that's what high limits, like the whole vision of high limit is to raise the limits of everything and kind of do things that are big, professional, that create an atmosphere for the fans. It's just something about once you take that step, it just really adds to the atmosphere. And to be the first ever 100,000 win Australian race is really cool. That it's branded high limit, and that we were able to kind of help launch that and facilitate that. So I think that's what we want. Is we want big events, multi-day, high pain, and just keep raising the stakes kind of everywhere.
Yeah, so Brad was very open and honest, even off camera. We've spoken a fair bit, and it was good of him. It's cool, exciting to see people wanting to do something with Australian sprint car racing overall and really blow it up. And congratulations to Perth as well with what they're doing. They're obviously in a prime position to make all this happen. So congratulations to Gavin Migro and his team for making putting all this together. What other questions did we have? How did all this come about? Brad said it's a no-brainer. Gavin has a first-class operation over there in Perth, and he said that Kyle texted Brad and said we need to get down there with high limits. So I guess that's how things got underway. And I actually spoke about that on Sprint Car Hub back in December because that was the talk at the time. What else? TJ Slideways, another well-known media over here, asked if they have aspirations for a national tour. Brad said the goal is to create a international series, possibly Canada, New Zealand. It'll take time. They want to help the Australian ecosystem, and I think that'll be what it does do. One thing that I wanted to ask, because it was playing on my mind with my thoughts, is we've had 20 Americans run or more at the Classic. So 6 high limit drivers coming to Australia to race over 3 nights. It's like, is it that big of a deal, right? And I don't want to sound critical, but I wanted to ask the question. So what I did end up asking was, what makes this a high limit deal? What makes this an exciting thing? Like the Outlaws Down Under coming 20 years ago for the first year. This was Brad's answer. Branding, officials, announcers, format, more obviously high limit drivers at the event. And as he did say, maybe 10 to 12 drivers come the event time. Who are they bringing with them? I know that Chase Rodman, the commentator, along with Tony Laporta, Mike Hess, who is runs the track operations, and I know Brian Walker from Walkerpedia, who's actually just walked in front of me here. We'll see. He's going to come into the media room right now. We'll see if he wants to grab a chat. Hey, Brian, can you come over and have a chat? I'm recording right now. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm on the YouTube?
Just quickly, I literally just mentioned you when you walked by. This is an exciting thing for High Limit to come to Australia. You've never been to Australia.
No.
Are you excited?
Oh, yeah. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go for like 4 years, ever since like the Classic and everything started airing on Dirt Vision and Flow. But yeah, I'm pumped.
And what will your role be while you're there?
If I go, I'm pretty sure I'm going. It's not 100%.
Okay.
But if I go, what I basically do, I think, just all the more than anything, especially with our American audience, just convey everything, how awesome it is down under and the racing at Perth, and just promote the drivers down there to our following in America.
Yeah.
Anything.
And watching it from this side of the world, do you enjoy the Australian sprint car racing?
I love it.
Yeah.
That's why it bums me out. It's literally so. I guess it bums me out, but it's also intriguing, like how far away it is. Like it's literally on the other side of the world. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're doing the exact same thing we're doing, and Australia's been producing great sprint car drivers for decades.
Yeah.
And like it's no different than right now. Like it's why it's so much fun to watch like the Classic every year, to not only watch our guys go down there and race, and now this same thing with the high limit deal, but we got Jock Goodyear,
Lachlan McHugh,
Rock Hallett, Lachlan McHugh. There's all sorts of great guys down there that are so fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And there's some badass racetracks.
Yeah, there is. One thing I try to do with Sprint Car Hub is really give people an insight. Just quickly, what is your involvement with High Limit? What do you do? Are you involved with the decision making and kind of, I guess, putting this deal together in particular?
I wasn't really involved in putting the Australia deal together.
Could have given yourself a good plug there. Could have been like, I'm responsible, right?
That's all. Brad did all the heavy lifting there.
Does that amaze you, just quickly, like how involved
I don't know how he
is?
does everything.
And also is the best sprint car driver in the world.
That's like last year. So I joined High Limit in 2020. last March.
Yeah.
Last March. So like we went through, and he won the Outlaw title last year.
Yeah.
So he's running the Outlaw season all year long, chasing points, while he was like literally managing High Limit.
Yeah.
Trying to build this into a national series behind the scenes, and it blew my mind. Like going outlaw races, how he can literally just wear this hat all day long,
Yeah.
and then put a helmet on, and he wins 5 straight outlaw titles.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
It is incredible.
My deal. I just do all the social media, all the PR, help with the marketing stuff with Kendra Jacobs, and just try to promote High Limit as much as we possibly can. You know, everything. Work with Flo a lot, and just try to not only grow our brand but sprint car racing.
It is a hard slog, and I don't want to plug media and talk about media because the role is to talk about the racing, right? And what happens in the sport. But it's a hard slog to do this sort of stuff. People don't realize the late nights or very early mornings, all that sort of stuff. Do you enjoy what you do in the sport?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm on year like 10. I just really like dove into it when I was like 15 years old or so, and I've just been chasing the dream ever since.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I didn't love it, I couldn't do it.
Right?
Yeah, living the dream for sure. But it's so many late nights and early mornings. Like yesterday, I think I went to bed at 4:30 a.m. and I woke up at 7 today.
Yeah.
But I get to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
I don't have to work tomorrow.
Nah, awesome, man. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
being part of it,
I
dude.
love everything you do.
Awesome. And Walkerpedia on Twitter.
Yep.
Is that your main one?
Yep.
Right. Make sure you guys check it out. Thanks, man. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. Very exciting news. There's a bit of a buzz here. We've got, what have we got? We got given these on paper. We're in a media center right now. This just doesn't happen in Australia. It's a pretty big room. I would say it's 4 to 5 times big as the Knoxville Media Center. That's the only other one I know about. But yeah, this one, basically the press release, bunch of information. Oh, and they also gave us these. Kendra Jacobs came walking around with these. Not sure if you can see that. It's a little token. What do you call it? Chip, poker chip. You can tell I don't gamble. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Another, just quickly, also we've got Parker Price Miller who spoke to us and told us which car he's driving.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've been down. I went down in 2018 and 2019, and I got to run Perth both years and then go down and do Classic Week both times. So looking kind of like the similar schedule. We were working on going even before High Limit even was going to announce this, and then with them coming up with that whole deal, it made it even easier to decide if we're going to go. So yeah, luckily the Hardings are bringing me back over, and we haven't worked out all the details yet on what exactly what cars we're going to run or how it's going to work, but those details should be figured out here in the next week or two.
All right, there you have it, guys. Exciting news. If you have any comments or questions or things you want to know, especially while I'm here at Eldora, and other people you want me to talk to and information you want me to get, let me know. Thank you so much for supporting Sprint Car Hub. And of course, make sure you check out our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But what I'd really love you to do is make sure you subscribe to Sprint Car Hub on YouTube and also check out sprintcarhub.com.